również. Jesteśmy w Halifaxie. 7 sierpnia.
Your ship is in Pier 22, and to your right, this long red building is part of the immigration annex building, Pier 21. It was used between 1921 and 1977 for immigration to Canada. The National Museum of Immigration is in there, if you have a moment to visit. Over 1.25 million immigrants came through this red building area to your right-hand side.
Imigrantów tutaj przepłynęło przez to biuro imigracyjne.
No more. Immigration through this port, through ships, stopped in 1971. Airplanes took over, and most people now land in Montreal or Toronto. Halifax Seaport Farmers Market. I'm going to be pointing to the right for quite a bit. You notice the date on that if you're back slowly past here. It's 1750. There's been a farmers market here in the city since 1750. That's 1 year after the founder, Edward Cornwallis, came ashore in 1749.
O, jaka piękna Kanada. Tutaj żyć i nie umierać.
The harbor of Halifax, which you came in a little while ago, is the world's second deepest natural ice-free harbor. I have to say that slowly. It's second to Sydney, Australia. So going by the harbor now, it's about 10 miles long, or 60 kilometers. It does not freeze, and is natural bedrock. It is about 60 feet deep in the shallow areas, and over 200 feet deep in the basin, and we'll show you the basin shortly at the end of the harbor.
Stóp jest w basenie głębokości, a tutaj w porcie ma 20 stóp, czyli
a condominium development to the right, called Bishop's Landing, was first inhabited by Anglican bishops. This city, of course, founded by the British, has many of the British remaining names all over the city and some of the buildings. To our left is the first commercial brewery in Canada. I say commercial, it's the Alexander Keith Brewery, established in 1820. Alexander came from Scotland. Many people here have the Scottish ancestry. He was the mayor of the city 3 times, and also, of course, had his brewery going. And if you remember the age of sail, the sailors literally were given or permitted a gallon of beer a day. So, Alexander had a good clientele, but he knew what he was doing in those days to develop that type of industry.
Dobre miejsce zajęliśmy tutaj w autobusie, tuż za przewodnikiem. Chcieli nas niepełnosprawni tutaj stąd wysiudać, ale się nie dałem. Ja też jestem niepełnosprawny. I figa z makiem.
We're running along the Halifax boardwalk, if you look to the right. A number of food stands. Where your ship came in is I'd say the outer end, and the boardwalk is nearly 4 kilometers along the entire waterfront. It's been an amazing development over the years to bring people to the harbor, to the waterfront. Now we're going by one of the major features here in the city, the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. In there, they have the world's largest collection of wooden artifacts from the Titanic, including a deck chair, no squabbling over that deck chair. Also displays on the age of sail, and they call it the age of steam. This is the home of Samuel Cunard, of the Cunard steamship lines. The Cunard family are established here, So they established early
Założyła to
the
miasto.
sailing ships, and they obtained a contract to take mail over to Europe, and then went on to develop the steamship lines
Zajmowała się
and the passenger ship lines.
do Europy.
We still have the Queen Mary II coming in here during the summer season.
Queen Mary II również.
Now, if you all look to your right as the light changes, this is called Shabakto Landing. This is where the founder of the city came ashore. As soon as we go through these lights, just have a look to your right. And on June the 21st of 1749, right there where that tower is. I don't know what time of day it was, or what day of the week it was. June the 21st, 1749. Mr. Cornwallis came ashore and founded the city. He had 12 ships and about 2,500 sailors. And they started establishing the city of Halifax. Now again, slowly here we're going by a series of buildings. These are the historic properties. During the War of 1812, the King of England gave some ship owners permission to be a pirate. Now maybe pirate is too harsh, but those buildings back there, they were used by the privateers. Sounds better, doesn't it, than pirate. I mean, well, they were entrepreneurs, so they're privateers. But they brought back all the material that they conquered, all the ships brought back that they stole and brought them back here and sold at auctions. And the king, of course, got a partial payment for that. And the privateers, some of them became very, very rich. One of them developed his own bank, which in turn became the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. So if you think banks are run by pirates, oh, no way. No. Now, speaking of a bank, there beside you is the casino. Yes, there's the casino. They have about 65 tellers in there. You can put the money in. You may get a withdrawal, but hard to say. Now the wharf, we're just coming by this wharf on our right-hand side. It's called Carlson's Wharf. Just remember this as a fact. The ships left from this wharf beside us to go to where the Titanic sank. The cable ships, I'll have more information later. But right here is where they left from to do the body recovery from the Titanic. Just here on the right-hand side.
Tutaj coś jest związane z Titanikiem po prawej stronie.
One of the major employers, of course, here is the Canadian Armed Forces, the Royal Canadian Navy. We'll be going by a lot of their infrastructure for a few moments. This is a NATO port. So ships from all of the NATO alliance countries come in here for resupply, recreation from time to time. We had an event 2 summers ago called the Parade of Sail, where we had about 21 large sailing ships come in. And also, I think it was planned, a large aircraft carrier, United States aircraft carrier. It looked like we had a new bridge across the harbor. My word, was that a long ship.
Lotniskowce tutaj przybywały. Barrington.
If you can see through the trees, we are going by the Royal Canadian Navy shipyards. We have 2 of those. One's in Esquimalt, British Columbia, the other coast, and this is the East Coast headquarters. The Navy got its start in 1910, primarily because the British left. The British were here and used this as a headquarters from 1749 through to 1906, and then they turned it over to Canada. That brought the Royal Canadian Navy into existence in
na
1910.
filarach, a ta część wysoka, gdzie przybywają statki, jest wisząca.
The bridge we're going under is one of two. Prior to these bridges, if you wanted to go to the other side over there, you can, practically touch it. You might have to drive in an hour to go around the basin. This bridge was put up in 1955, the one we just went under.
Trzeba godzinę iść.
It's under a refit in the last 2 years. Still going.